Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm back. And I am joined by a very special guest, one of my dearest and nearest friends.
Not gonna be so near in a little bit.
Don't play with me.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
Okay.
Coming in like the tornado she is. Mandii B is here, everybody.
Hey. Okay,
Hey,
so
girl.
I need you to insert all the claps, all the
Pew,
things.
pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew. Yes, applause,
By the way,
applause.
I do want to share how much I value this friendship. However, also the wait list I had to get on in order to be on this podcast.
Don't play with me.
No,
You haven't been here.
No, it's okay. Nope. I'm not here right now. I'm not here right now. I want y'all to know I told Antoinette that while Shanti was on her mental health break, that I could be on. I was ready to talk about all the things, and she put me on a 3-week wait.
No, I didn't.
It was the end of April, and she said, "Would you like to join mid-May?"
You weren't here. I have it in writing, Mandii, where you said, "I'm gone. I'm away for 10 days, and then I'm here for 10 days."
For anybody that knows,
oh, you're so annoying. Let me go to my text.
For anybody that knows, they know I keep receipts.
So do I.
I specifically hit her 1 week and said I would love to be on this week. She said, "Nope." Got dusted. Shanti coming back.
All right, yeah, you wanted to come on to talk the rap beef, and I didn't want to hear what you had to say, if I'll be honest. Because I saw what you were saying online, and I said, not today. I don't feel like arguing with this girl. I'm exhausted.
I want y'all to know it's okay. I shared my horrible hip hop rap beef takes on the Need to Know podcast with Savon.
Now Savon. Oh, it's Savon now. Oh, okay. Here you go.
Only 1/3 of the Can Afford Therapy podcast that won a Webby Award. That we so dearly missed Antoinette for. Y'all know family and life comes first. I know that she likes to portray that work is put before so many things in her life, but what y'all don't know is that friends and family absolutely are first in her life. So even though she may be up like hours, late night hours for work, and she comes on and talks about how tired she is of work, you put people before so many things, and Antoinette has to show up for those people even at the, I don't even know the word, but at the expense of herself. She will continuously show up for others. And so where she couldn't be there to accept this award with the team, I know, and many of you, where you may think it's all work, no play or no self-care, it's that she has all the care in the world for everyone around her. And I know I hate the text message you just sent me. And this was not a part of your outline. I don't know if it was. But I wanted to share that because this has been a conversation, even on horrible decisions coming up, where, people are going through things in life and they know it. And so they retreat. And so I hated, and I'm going to share this to the world, because if anyone is listening and going through hard times, even if your friends are saying, "How are you?" Even if you don't want to even if you don't want to talk about it, the worst thing is to be like, "I don't want to bother you with this burden." And Antoinette, I hated that message from you because I love you. And we're drinking wine, but I hated that message because you're there for so many people. So I don't want you to think that nobody can be there for you.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to start with that.
Thank you, Mandii. I know, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you always being there for me. As it is 4 minutes in, we're both teary-eyed.
I know, Jesus. Jesus, this is why I hate Antoinette in podcasting, because she makes me emotional.
We're both teary-eyed. Yeah, it has been. Yeah, you know what's going on.
Yeah, I do.
It's been really, really, really hard. That's all I can say. It's not my business to share, but it's been really hard. And I'm here, and I'm really grateful for you, for everybody that's showing up for me. I didn't mean, Mandii is saying, I sent her a text saying, "Ignore me." and protect your peace, because you check in with me constantly, and it was the same thing, it wasn't new. It was like, well, the update is the same update. And I don't want to bring anybody down. You've checked in, you've been good, great to me. You're on here now recording, and I want to see folks have fun and like do their thing. And I will reach out and be honest when I'm like, I'm flailing. I need you. So I appreciate you. I hear you. And I
I
appreciate you.
think though that's a common sentiment, right? Like when people, I mean, because we often say it too, right? Like when we're talking to friends, sometimes it is like, damn, every time I hit this person up, life sucks.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that does seep into whoever you're talking to, and it could make that person, baby, they always got something going on. But I think for you, it's everything that you always have going on is, I think, your empathetic way of taking on so many of the burdens of just the people around you. And where you want the best for everyone around you, you can't control where they're at in their lives and how it's affecting you. And so where it's like, it's not that you're always in need or that it's always your drama, even. It's just that you're really trying to be there for everyone in your life. And that becomes a draining toll. I mean, I think I've realized that more than anything over the last year, like with the passing of my cousin and the passing of my granddad and my mom going through her weight loss surgery right now. And that being a thing, I think that as you start to actually just really care about the people in your life, you realize like, damn, this sucks because everything going on in my life that isn't even really directly me is impacting my day to day. And so I want you to know, I've been seeing all the clips. The Around the Way Curls community has seen your smile, your laughs. And I've said, I don't know how you are able to show up the way you've been showing up. And so I don't think they're not going to know everything you're going through, but it's a true testament to how much you care about this show.
Thank you.
It is.
Thank you.
I love you, friend.
I
Cheers
love you
to the
too.
wine. I don't know if
Cheers.
y'all are at your desks right now, or if you're listening to this and you're like, damn, y'all got this loud mouth, wrong take ass bitch on the
Why would you put that energy out? No one thinks that.
Okay.
They're happy to hear from you.
Yeah, no. I love the community. I know so many here is because they loved you once a month on See the Thing Is. So I'm glad that they get to hear us with our ostracizing opposite takes a little bit. Only because I just had lunch with Asante and Crystal, and we started talking about something, and she was like, this makes sense why you and Antoinette, because how? Just how?
What, how are we friends?
Yeah, I think I'll say, and this is a part of maybe my catch up. I know I read what you want to talk about. And I think it maybe reigns in here just a little bit. She asked me a question that I don't know the answer to yet. And it was really interesting because it brought about you and I. And I literally talked about you and me, even in my response. I talked about how much you speak about politics and world peace, and you see the light at the end of the tunnel so much, and you have so much faith almost in humans correcting all of our wrongdoings, that when she asked me, and I think we were talking about the man that was getting his hair braided by the kids in the school, and we talked about it, and I said, what's crazy is I'm now living in a life where I don't feel, and I've said this to you, I don't feel that I can make much change, but I know I've made change in people's lives. And those changes are so incredible that I'm only going to live from the scope and lens of my experience. And that's what makes sense. However, even when I see all these other people's experiences, I can waver. Kind of my selected ignorance. Yes, I'm a part of the LGBTQ community. I would love Chick-fil-A to be open on Sundays. Yes, H&M's Monkey in the Jungle shirt was wrong. I was on that clearance rack. And I think what she said I have to do is lean into my own moral code and compass. Like, what do I stand by? because yes, I absolutely cannot stand abusers. I cannot wait to see Chris Brown perform live. And so there's all of these hypocrisies that I stand on. And she literally said, well, it's because you don't have your own moral code of compass to stand by. And I found that to be something that I'm like, maybe I actually do need to get more into that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one thing about you is that you say the thing that most people will hide. I'm serious. A lot of people, including myself, are hypocrites. There are aspects where we absolutely are hypocritical. And guess what? You, instead of hiding that, instead of acting like it doesn't exist, you're going to be like, oh no, this is how I feel. And I'm putting it out there. I do think there's something to be said about having your own individual moral compass, code of conduct that you live by. And that's for you to decide.
So, I mean, and that's what I realized. I do, but in this space of everyone being able to have opinions on the way everyone else exists and live their lives, I realized that I waver on the bias of, well, do I like this person? How important is their art to me? It's kind of that debate and wavering that we had with R. Kelly. It's like, do you put the art before the artist? And I've heard you speak about that so much on this pod that I'm just like, yeah, so I'm biased and I just live in the fact that I'm biased. My experience is my experience. And yeah, it's been interesting. When she asked me that, I was like, damn, I guess I know I don't like abusers, but I know I don't like thieves. I know I don't like liars. But when I go into even the scope of my own circle or the people that I champion, they hold those same traits, but also we're human, which is why I want to end this rant and saying, I'm waiting for the aliens.
Oh my God, Mandii.
Bring them
That's
here.
your update.
Bring the aliens here. Yes, okay. That's my update.
Jesus Christ. That is Mandii's update, is that it's not much of an update. She's still a hypocrite, still figuring things out. She says all this, but at the end of the day, the way in which she lives her life, the way in which she interacts with her friends, I think absolutely has a code of conduct. So it's very interesting there. I challenge you. I'm going to keep challenging you on this podcast to think about things differently, consider some other things outside of just your experience, and we're going to see where that goes. All right?
Okay.
Let's buckle up.
All right.
I actually want to play a voicemail, if it's okay with you. I don't remember what said voicemail was, but for some reason I wanted to play it for you specifically. So,
oh boy, okay.
What is this voicemail? Hold on, I'm getting it. Oh, okay. I don't know what this is, but so I asked people, I said, if you have questions for Mandii or Fran, and somebody said, I got a question, or I have something that I want to share with Mandii. And I was like, okay.
Did you listen to this before you about to play it?
I only want a lifetime. I only want a lifetime with you. I only need a lifetime. I only need a lifetime with you, girl. Yeah.
Okay.
It goes on. I'm done. I can't.
Okay. So I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you, Antoinette.
Do you accept?
You know what?
I don't know what that was, but it came up right after I posted that. So I said, well, there you have it.
So I ain't gonna hold y'all. Y'all know I still believe nothing lasts forever. So the nigga saying a lifetime, that's too long. Like, if he would have offered, Antoinette, if he would have offered, like, I only need a month, a summertime, a season, maybe a year, a lifetime, nigga, you're not gonna drown me in chaos for a lifetime, nigga. I want to be able to leave when I want to leave. So
You're annoying. Goodbye.
he gotta change the words,
The
friend.
fact that you listen to that and the words were your issue is
you know what's crazy though?
tricky.
He must know. Baby, in my new era of being outside, I love an artist. So all artists,
You do.
all artists, whether it's painting, rapping, producing, athletics, any type of art, feel free to slide in my DMs because I love a good artist.
And I haven't gotten an update on that other artist, so
Which one? I ain't gonna hold you. There's so many.
okay,
So
we'll
many.
talk later.
So many. You could give a hint, but so many.
The one that used to be at the events that I used to be at.
Oh, okay. So really like him, but here's the thing. Oh, and I'm gonna share this without sharing too much. So this artist in particular does not like casual sex and is currently not in a position to being more like even in dating. So
Mhm.
he's just dating. But I'm so turned on by him that the last date I went on with him, I had someone else meet me at my house because I was so turned on.
Goodbye. All right. Okay. That is actually what you need is to date someone without
Yeah.
all the other physical stuff and to actually figure
Right.
out what you really like.
So I got the physical, I got the other nigga for physical. What we finna do here? I'm hoarding it. I wanted to eat his face off.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's please rate, review, subscribe, and share around the way, girls. Thank you all for joining us. And also, patrons, thank you for being a patron. If you don't know, you can watch Mandii on her new fancy camera that's following her all around.
I hate it.
And you hate it? I knew
hate it.
I knew you were going to like it.
I paid too much money for this.
I knew you weren't going to like it. You can watch her and I on Patreon right now. She's scrolling on her phone. I'm not sure what she's doing. Her hair looks really cute. Her lipstick is cute.
Because before you do that, we want you to know that when you subscribe, you actually get a shout out on the live feed. So I want to give a shout out to Delina, Nicole, Rachel, Aja, and Flowering Lotus, who are the newest subscribers on the Around the Way Curls Patreon. So yes, you get a shout out. So make sure you subscribe and give these girls their coins.
The fact that you can't sit back. You got to do the segues. Go ahead. I'm glad you got the outline. Come on, hot shit. What's up? What's up? You want to do?
I'm going down.
Okay. All right. Hot shit, y'all. This is a important one for me. Farah is on Netflix. I don't think it's new. It's not new. It's been on Netflix for some time, I believe. Yes, 2022. But I had no idea about it. Israel tried to get it shut down. It is a historical drama film about a Palestinian girl's coming of age experience during the Nakba. This is, again, the 1948 displacement is a kind word, displacement of Palestinians from their homeland. Israel tried to get this banned off of Netflix. They rallied and petitioned to get it off. Many boycotted, canceled their subscriptions. The director, who Darren J. Salam, or Doreen, because it's a woman, she said that this is actually not even, like, this depiction is pretty milquetoast in comparison to what actually happened. And so she was shocked that Israel had, the Israeli government and many Israelis had this kind of reaction towards it. So I think it's really important for us to watch. It is available on Netflix right now. So I want to shout that out. I'm going to be watching that. Also, I want you to do the third one. So read it, Mandii. Also,
well, actually,
go ahead.
But before you get off of that, I have not tuned into that film yet.
Okay.
However, I think that I recently saw a thread on Twitter that talked about even certain videos, specifically by female artists, that were taken down because it was too sexualizing. So Rihanna's Pour It Up video, Sierra had a video as well. I think Body Party, or one of hers was also removed. But I think it's interesting, being that we're seeing another country take these measures to remove, while also being in a country that has reversed rights against women's bodies. And to me, I also wanted to add a watch. If you happen to be on a Sky Alliance flight, I was heading to London, and it is also not an American film. However, it's called How to Have Sex. And it's actually a coming of age story about consent that I watched. And I will provide a trigger warning to it. It's about 3 girls that go and are on spring break, and they just want to have a good time. One of the girls is a virgin. And so they're going on this spring break vacation. And one of the girls has sex. And it's so unwanted. And her friends, you can see that she doesn't know how to even express that this wasn't a consensual act. But you also see how consent is a very difficult thing for teenage girls. And where I don't feel like it's been a great representation in our film, even with Euphoria, I think this show did a great job showing what I can feel like resonated and resembled what me and my friends would do as 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old adolescents in parties, drinking, and being under the influence and not really knowing how to handle advancements. So it's called How to Have Sex. You can probably watch it on streaming. I saw it on the plane, but I was tearing pretty much for the half, and I'm just like, these are actually the types of shows that need to be shown. So this show that
Prime.
Okay, How to Have Sex. If you can watch it, I think that if we can watch more relatable shows, I think it can drive these conversations more. And where I do think Euphoria was a great show, I think it missed the mark in a lot of conversations that need to be had in adolescence and drug use and alcoholism at a young age with sex. So I just wanted to add that because I hate that the Israeli government is trying to ban what could actually be educational and provoking in some ways for some women to step up for themselves.
Well, we all know why they're doing that. They don't want them.
Girl, we know.
Yeah. Okay.
We know.
In addition, thank you for that. The Big Cigar is now streaming on Apple TV. This is not an ad, but I think it's important. This series follows Huey P. Newton, the iconic political activist and founder of the Black Panther Party. His story is being told through an incredible performance, apparently, by Andre Holland and an all-star cast. It's a limited series, and it follows Newton's risky escape to Cuba. So this sounds really exciting. It's something that piqued my interest, so I'm with the shit. So let's all check that out as well.
I'm with the shits for other reasons. Y'all know I'm always gonna bring in my why does your mind go there takes. And
oh God.
Listen, the fashions is coming back from that era. They are wearing the turtlenecks, the chains, the scarves. It's given, we are in the mix between going back to the 70s, 80s, and 90s fashion. I'm actually really glad of it. The men's is doing what they do, but also, we also want to say we're leaning into the early 2000s. Shout out to True Religion, Von Dutch, and Ed Hardy coming back when I can afford it. Because I'm wearing it and I'm excited. But I'm here for the men in bell bottoms and tight shirts and blouses.
When do wait. When do you think they were wearing tight shirts and bell bottoms and things?
Like the 70s.
Oh, okay. Because you said 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah, we going all back. Like, there ain't no fashion right now. All of the old fashions is coming back. That's why everybody printing now.
That's okay. That's what you took away from this. The Black Panther Party was founded in 1966. I thought I was tripping. It ceased operations in 1982. But I don't believe there's still some Black Panthers running around here. But
oh yeah, definitely in Harlem.
Sure, the fashion. That's it. That's the takeaway. I think this one might pique your interest a little more. Stay with me, Mandii. House on Fire. Have you heard of this?
On your outline, I did.
Okay. Do you want to read it or do you want me to?
Okay, I can do that. So, you guys, by the way, this is not an ad. House on Fire comes to us from the producers of Drag Race. and is set in New York and follows the preeminent house, baby, Vogue, yes, in the ballroom scene. The house of the, now, Mayaki Mueller, one of them.
Mugler.
It's Mugler, right?
Yes,
Okay.
queen.
Produced by ITV America, Good Company, and Hey Man Productions. It follows the house's family members and the heads of competition. Now, I really love this. I want to shout out my good friend Dub, who is the reason why I have been introduced and know Asante, Dustin, Crystal, and the whole group. So Dub is actually a part of a house and competes in these ballroom competitions. Horrible Decisions just sponsored her latest one in New York City. And to me, I absolutely love like that this world, this scene, this lifestyle is being brought to television. I know if you guys want to dig into more of a scripted version of what this is like, you can tune into Pose. I know Pose has ended, but you can watch from beginning to end how beautifully that is. But I love that there's going to be more television around ballroom culture.
There's absolutely
because
a need.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
You can also watch the documentary film Paris is Burning, which offered like the first glimpse into New York's drag and kind of ballroom competitions and voguing and house culture. But this looks really interesting. I also love Youssef. Youssef, do you know Youssef? Youssef does Rihanna's hair. He does a lot of people's hair, but Youssef is... I met Youssef once with Jasmine, and he was the nicest human being. And he is featured on this. He is one of the like house managers, and he's reading the shit out of people. I don't understand. You have to look up, y'all, because I don't know where this is being streamed. I couldn't figure it out because I
love it. I think it's interesting though.
We're
in the like cultural appropriation era. So I did just come across this white woman who killed the shit. I'm gonna send it to you. And so it's interesting to me how I know we've been talking about the cultural appropriation of hip hop, but even in this sense where so many people are uncomfortable with gay and trans and drag and all these things, we have the laws where the children can't even, in the South, they didn't want drag queens to read books to the children. And so to me it's interesting seeing how many people are leaning into the entertainment aspect of it and not as much of the culture. And so I think the same way we went through blackfishing and the girlies stealing the braids and cornrows in our fashions, what the community feels about the whites coming in, because I see them, maybe, and they're coming in droves. And so I'm interested.
Well, Honey Balenciaga was up there with Beyonce. Honey Balenciaga was up there with Beyonce.
But
Honey
Balenciaga
is one of the stars.
That's a trans. No, I'm not talking about.
I have no idea, but Honey Balenciaga is white. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't think I mind white as much as it's like people who are not of the culture. I'm seeing like straights just voguing, baby. Yeah, I don't know. I just wonder what's kept for them and what's not.
Yeah, I neither you nor I would be able to speak to that and make any, assumptions on rules.
Same.
But it's a good question. Yeah, it's going to be on Wow Presents Plus, and I hope they do it well.
I love that you found it.
Of course. I don't know what that is though. I'm so old. Wow Presents Plus. So
all I know is, I don't know if y'all kept up, but Comcast just bought a part of a large streaming entity. And so to me, you talk about Wow TV, it's giving more money. I'm ready to go back to cable. Y'all, I thought cable had us, right? You sign up for cable, at least you got Wi-Fi, cable, and a phone line. Right now, I am paying hundreds of dollars between all these streaming apps because you have to have them all. You have to have Paramount, you have to have Stars, you have to have YouTube, and mind you, the girlies will shade you. Asante done added me to his family plan because he came over and saw I had commercials on YouTube. And
I have commercials on YouTube.
Yeah, but you get shaded now for having commercials on some
I'm used to being shaded. It's fine. I won't die.
Yeah, I'm here for us to just all go back to one bundle, please.
I know. It won't happen. Maybe it will. I don't know. Let's take a break. That was a lot. We're half an hour in. Wow, already. Time flies when you're having fun. Would you like to sing?
Oh, yes. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Sounded good. Crazy. You're fucking nuts. You came in guns blazing.
What?
I was listening to the Friend Zone, and Asante was like, Mandii came in and she dropped a bomb on us, and Fran was like, oh, Mandii, we love Mandii. And he was like, yeah, she came in like the tornado. She is. And then he alluded to the news. He said, I don't even know if I can say what it is, so I ain't even gonna say it. I was so irritated.
Oh, well, you know why?
Because you told him to go with you, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
Whatever, Mandii. I already knew that you were telling him that.
And he was like, I was just thinking that my mom's like, I would like to be closer to my family. I just didn't know how or what. And he's like, this might be the sign I literally been asking for. Yeah.
Whatever. I'm happy for you. All right. Ready? Yes. I'm about to get into politics. So now we'll loosey-goosey it up after.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Okay.
Politics as usual. We are back.
That's right. And she told me not to laugh, y'all. It's
no,
I
did it.
I'm going to tell them.
I said.
She told me we getting serious. So this is the part where if you came to listen to only Antoinette,
this is where I am inviting you. I'm challenging you to take this information in and to respond accordingly.
Okay.
All right.
Professional.
You've got to be drunk. I know it. I see your face.
You know what's crazy? I'm not. I'm ready to go out, y'all. By the way,
you're like brain, giddy.
Here's the thing. My brain, if you guys just watched me on the Need to Know, my brain shuts off at 6 p.m. Y'all, we are recording in the evening time. I've been up since 6 a.m. and I have to now think. My brain shut off. I'm still in a corporate mindset.
Whatever, girl. Okay. You're right, because you did text me like 6:30, like good morning, and I was like, no. All right, I'm gonna give an update on Gaza and the genocide. All right,
this is how I keep up with this, by the way. So
really,
yes,
wow, please. I am not your news. I'm gonna say that again to all the listeners. Do not listen to me for your news. All right. Just let this be a springboard to go seek out more information. But update on Gaza and the genocide happening there. Not everyone classifies it as a genocide. I do. Israel is now intensifying their attacks on Rafah, the Rafah border. Just a reminder, Rafah is the border between Egypt and Gaza. And Rafah is also the city that surrounds that border. So Israel is intensifying their ground attacks as well as their airstrikes, forcing more than 500,000 people to flee. They have nowhere to go because the north is in full-blown famine. Humanitarian access points in Rafah have been closed due to these attacks, which means there is no humanitarian aid going into Gaza through Rafah, and Rafah is the main point in which humanitarian aid can come in. Israeli settlers have also been seen on video. There is video evidence of them destroying aid that is stuck at the border, destroying it, taking the aid, throwing it on the ground, stomping on it, making sure that Palestinians are not able to get this aid.
Now, I have seen videos of that. Mm-hmm. And for anybody questioning whether or not this is a genocide, I literally saw them like throwing cases of water, things that were needed, and destroying it. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, that I can't even make up words for seeing those videos and what it means to know that human beings are doing that for women, children, families in need. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, and I want to be sure that it is not all Israeli people. It is some. The Israeli state is very split. Netanyahu is a very, very extremist leader who many people do not agree with. So I don't want to paint the entire state as doing this. There were also children that were doing this, that were destroying the humanitarian aid. And this is where it comes into play that these kids are being taught. This is
Absolutely.
a learned experience, or not experience. This is a learned behavior, a learned hatred that is so deeply rooted and so complex, but it is very real, and we need to know that it is happening. The U.S. port via the sea, remember, the U.S. was building a port, is now in use, but it pales in comparison to what is actually needed and the efficacy of land shipments. Democracy Today had some interviews of displaced Palestinians and their feelings regarding the American port, and I just want to play that really quickly.
We don't want ships. We want the border crossing to open for people to come and go. We want safety. We want official borders. Those planes as well that they bring here with the parachutes and they throw food at us like dogs, like beggars. That does not work. It falls on houses. It falls on people. It brings us problems.
We reject dealing with the ships and the American ships because in the same way it gives us, it will take away from us. Maybe they want to take over the gas fields that are in the sea, or maybe they are here to displace the Palestinian people and to transfer people from one country to another.
So obviously there is distrust, deep distrust between the Palestinian people and the American people, and these American ships.
It's crazy though, because it reminds me a lot of what was the year? I mean, I know I was maybe my freshman year of high school. We left Florida and I lived in Atlanta, and it reminds me of what I used to see and how they treated Hurricane Katrina and all of the displaced families, even in New Orleans, because of that hurricane. It's like there was help, but for some reason, where America is supposed to be the best country in the world, they can't figure out how to give aid in a way that makes sense. That's humane, right? That word, humane. And so it's interesting that hearing that even though the U.S. is doing probably the bare minimum in terms of what they could do and support and help with what's happening, is that it's causing them distress. They're dropping these things and it's causing more problems than helping. And also the idea that they feel like taking this help is putting them into a debt to the U.S. as if we take this, that means we're going to have to now.
They're not stupid.
They're not. And it's unfortunate that we're in a place where politics comes before humanity in so many things.
That's it.
Politics before humanity. And I think that's where I think we're seeing it within our own political election year right now with the conversations in Congress and the program. What is it? The 2025 program, like, and just the way they just are exalting and wanting to remove the rights of this democracy and make it a dictatorship. And what we're seeing with Hamas and Israel and Gaza and just everything that's happening. This is what happens when there's dictatorship and not a democracy where the people are able to vote, and what happens. I don't know. I'm scared for where we're at. And I think that I think I've told you this, high off shrooms. I like to just live life and not feel like my mind has to be consumed with how sucky people are and what's happening in the world. And it's because I feel completely out of control of it. You can want better for people. You can want to, donate to the GoFundMes or the organizations and hope it aids help and makes a difference. But it's so, when we're dealing with our friends and family and the direct impact of what's happening in life, it's hard to think on a global scale. And so it's exhausting to hear. And I do appreciate where this is not where you want us to get our news. This is where you explain it a bit that I could understand. Cause bitch, I'll be like, what the hell going on? I ain't never been over there. I ain't got no passport stamp to that part of the world. And so hearing you break down the history of what's happening and why this is happening and who and what it's affecting and how we're involving ourselves or creating enemies across different, other countries and their decisions. I don't know. I know we listen and we want to make change and we want to. It's difficult, y'all. This is difficult for me. Politics. Me and Antoinette have been high, and I'd be like, girl, I don't know how you fill your brain with this stuff because it's exhausting and it's sad. And isn't life hard enough?
And I get I get it, and I think that's where I see you as a human, where you're like, actually, I don't have the capacity to take all of this on, but I feel like your work, the work that you choose to do, is more within the space of pleasure, right to pleasure, consent. And that's an important space too. I think as long as we're getting back again that word to our humanity, then and there's space for all of us to grow. So
yeah,
I mean, the tricky thing here, it's not tricky, it's very clear. The US is playing both sides. I mean, on one hand, foreign ministers from 13 countries signed a letter warning Israel to halt their invasion of Rafah because they are deeming this as a genocide. The only country that's out of the G7 countries, the big G7 countries that did not sign this is the US, because that is our ally. Biden said that he would not send more missiles, more weapons to Israel if they invaded and continued their plans of invasion, this ground invasion in Rafah. Biden has now approved $1 billion worth of weapons. Of weapons. Additional weapons. And so where is this? Apparently there was supposed to be a whole plan to avoid harming the civilian population there. Where is that plan? The Washington Post, it's all money. There's so much pressure, right? And here's the thing. People are like, oh, Biden's not shit. And I'm always saying like, well, I don't know that Trump would handle this any better, right?
Right.
Trump has the benefit of not being president right now because Trump can say whatever he wants. Oh, Biden needs to do this. Biden needs to do that. But Biden is in a position where whatever he says, you got to show and prove. And he is not showing and proving. He's not. He is absolutely genocide fucking Joe right now. He is complicit in this shit.
Genocide Joe.
He's complicit. His hands are covered in blood. And I am trying to figure out what, I don't understand it. And it's not that I don't understand it. Oh, I don't understand it on two levels. I don't understand it on a humane level. And then I don't understand it politically because I don't believe that anything would be worth the bloodshed and the slaughter that is happening in Gaza and the West Bank and the surrounding desert area, right? I'm trying to understand what are the things politically in play that make this worth it to the U.S.
It's weird because I don't think I think that it comes down still to, and I can sound ignorant here, so correct me.
No.
It brings me back to the checks and balances, where yes, it sounds great to say Joseph Robinette Biden.
Oh, they're all complicit.
Well, but what I'm saying is we also have to take into account that so many people within the House, within Congress that have to sign off are all Trump appointees. There's still a large amount of Republicans that are fighting against the Democratic seats that are in House. And so it makes sense to, say that Joe Biden
Trump
isn't
appointees. So let me just correct you there.
Please do.
They are, the House and the Senate they're voted in. They are voted in by the people, right? Speaking of
local elections. Correct?
Yes. Speaking of, there's about I think 200 and some seats that are going to be voted on in November as well. So please, it's not just the presidential election. Please pay attention to your local election as well, because that's happening around the same time. Trump could very much win, and there are some polling saying that the Democrats should be very scared. Joe Biden should be very scared because Trump is leading in almost every single swing state.
Every swing.
So, but we need to be clear that Congress is what can check and balance.
I get that.
Trump.
You want to know the conversation I've been having? And I'm curious to know if your audience who is political forward, I would say, and probably their views, is why Biden is our option. To know that he has not held the Democratic like trust of the people, the fact that they have not even brought in Bernie, bitch, somebody. There's literally no other person right now. So the fact that it's a Biden versus Trump idea of what's going to the presidential election now, it sucks because Cardi B, and this is me bringing in the celebrity pool of this, Cardi B was just featured on Rolling Stone. And for someone who, back when she was dancing, has been so adamant on being vocal in politics and the need to vote on a very large platform, she just said, I'm not voting this year.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to me where we're going to continue having these conversations and knowing how much the celebrity pool does impact people to go out and vote. For someone who does have a really strong pull to come out and say, well, I'm not voting, and then seeing that no vote is essentially a vote for Trump, it's interesting. I have these conversations with my mom as someone who is looking to relocate to what is a red state, but a blue city. I know we're going to talk about guns in a little bit, and to be moving back with that as literally a big part of my viewpoints in politics. This is really interesting because there are a lot of things affecting me. I don't want birth control. I'm literally looking at where I want to move. Houston keeps popping up.
What do you mean you don't want birth control?
Like, I absolutely am against, at 33 years old, getting birth control.
Oh, you don't want to take birth control. You want birth control to be a right. Okay.
No, I would love it to be a right. But as someone who is pro-choice and will vacuum this baby on out if it happens, the fact that there's so many states that are taking that choice away from women. I mean, looking at those apartments that look great in Texas and literally being like, but they don't believe in the choices of women. At 33 years old, it's really interesting that I'm looking at the political landscape of where I'm looking to move. That is something new for me. Let's be very clear. As someone who
to be very clear, it's something new because we haven't had these type of rights. We've taken oftentimes them for granted.
We have.
So now the rights that we've taken for granted are up for grabs. We're like, well, wait, hold up. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure in Georgia, there's a new law that you cannot, they might have gotten this taken away already, but there's a new law because they're trying to get people not to vote, right?
Yep.
There's a new law saying that if you pass out water or food to folks waiting in these long ass lines to vote, that you can be prosecuted.
So what I've noticed about Georgia is actually the same thing that's been happening in Florida, especially because of the disparities between the races that live here. They've been trying to change the
gerrymander.
Is it redlining?
Yeah.
So they've been trying to redistribute what certain counties and
that's gerrymandering.
There we go. And that's been definitely a thing. So I would say, again, look where you live. I think it's interesting because where I'm not an advocate of voting, I think as someone who is, I'm an adult now. I think that's the funny part of it, right? We think of family planning now. We think of taxes. We think of home ownership.
When you get
into your 30s and you get into all of these things is what really impacts you in your life here on this earth, you realize, shit, I have to hope that this is aligned with my values and where I want my life to go. And so, yeah, it's interesting being 33, getting into really thinking of what the next 10 years of my life look like and determining where I live because of it and how I will vote. And so, yeah, I think this is why this is, I know every election year they say this is the most important. This is crucial for a lot of millennials, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
and everyone.
This is a, okay, this is a big year. Yeah. I'm sure there will be more, but this is difficult. I'm even having a hard time thinking about voting. Mm-hmm. I know that I will vote. I know I will not vote for Donald Trump. I love the way that Dustin said that. I just am so disappointed in so many things, but I also am clear that there are some things getting done, but they are going to have a really hard time outshining this foreign policy that we have.
I agree. I hope y'all think I did good, y'all, with this little political talk. I was nervous, y'all. I was nervous because Antoinette is real political.
Stop. I have one more thing. That I want to, I just want to make people aware of this. Take away what you want. But there is a serious gun problem in Philadelphia where I'm from. Serious gun problem. My father often will say, I don't know where these people are getting all these guns from. It's like they're dropping them off in the street. Okay, so CBS News just delivered quite a bombshell of a report. So police guns are ending up in the hands of criminals. About 9 times a day over the last 2 decades, a gun used in a crime has been traced back to its original owner, which is a law enforcement agency. Okay, so this is a joint investigation from CBS News, The Trace, and Reveal from the Center for Investigative Reporting. They have found that at least 52,000 such incidents have identified more than 140 police agencies that sell or trade their guns, allowing dealers to then resell them. So law enforcement agencies are selling their old duty weapons to cut the costs of upgrading. And so the side effect is that tens of thousands of those guns wind back up on the street. And they're even being used in shootings, domestic violence incidents, and other violent crimes. Oh, God. A lot of police agencies have buyback programs. Okay.
Yes.
The buyback program is like, hey, we want to get guns off the street, so we're going to buy your gun off of you. No questions asked. Just bring your gun in. We'll give you usually $250, $200 for each gun. Okay, so
guns
many
got bodies. Y'all better sell your sperm before these guns, because y'all can get the same amount of money for your sperm.
You're crazy. That's also a good point. Many of the police agencies that resold or traded these weapons are the same ones that routinely hold buyback events. So they're selling their guns and then buying them back. It's absurd. So the Philadelphia Police Department boasts on its website about having collected 125 guns in buybacks since 2021. Okay? But they sold 886 guns. They sold more guns than they bought back.
There's about 700 still out there. What we doing?
That's not the math.
No. You said 800. You said
25, and they sold
100.
Your math is not mathing. They collected 825. They sold 886. That's not 700 difference.
Oh, I heard 100 and something.
Okay.
I heard 100 and something. All I know is, listen, for anybody listening, and I know a few of y'all in the South, because I be hearing y'all voicemails, and y'all sound like y'all from the South. Guns to me in this country as a whole, I know you brought it up with Philadelphia, but with me considering coming back to the South, I feel the least safe with all these unstable niggas that don't go to therapy, yielding weapons and claiming it's for protection. I'll be honest, I got friends that yield guns. And baby, the way they be high, I don't think they should have guns. Because baby, you ain't all the way there every day. And
Oh, God.
I am not here at all for anyone owning guns. I
I'm
may
the
be
same way.
relocating. I may be relocating to a place where I remember the last time I was in town, I went on a date, went and got sushi. Nigga had a gun in his waist. And I said, sir, we're eating sushi. What do you need that for? And his response was, you don't feel safer that I have it? And I said, no. The fact that in the last 13 years that I've lived in New York, I feel safer on the roughest streets, in the roughest projects than I do in a parking lot when I steal a spot. I remember when I was in Florida and my mom skirt in front of a nigga for a spot. And I was scared like we was about to get shot over a parking spot. That's even how social media has made me lead into the unsafety of people with guns in the South. And I'm just like, I'm if we could sign a bill, if somebody come out and say guns can't be allowed in America, I'm signing it. I want y'all to know I am. The fact that I went over to London and they have pellets in their guns, the police officer, it's pellets. It's not even bullets that can kill people. It's pellets. I just feel like we're in a fucking wild, wild west Sims game. And that's what we live in right now. It's crazy.
Girl, speaking of
crazy.
Congress passed a law in
See?
in 2003 that basically said that they would hide this report. None of this information about police selling guns would be released to the public. Limited records would be released, but they were only released because I believe the Ninth Circuit Court Appeals ruled to release a limited summary of the statistical information due to getting sued. They got sued because the people were like, no. We want to know where these guns are going. Most law enforcement agencies are legally required to destroy their used guns. Destroy them.
I'm going to tell you now, when we talk about politics being over humanity, it ain't no different than what we see with Diddy, what we saw with Weinstein.
It's not money. It's money.
No,
it's capitalism.
It's money. Money brings the power that can make anything go under the rug or make anyone feel invincible. And it's nasty work. It's nasty work.
It's very nasty. But the fact that these agencies are selling these guns because they also are saying that they can't afford to upgrade their weapons to keep up with the guns that are on the street is also telling. I don't know how much I believe that, but also when you get to defund the police, then you add this little layer in there. It's so tricky. Anyway, I don't want to stay on this because I need a break from all this shit because my mental health is struggling.
Yeah, me too. I've been needed a break, but I was like, we gonna do politics per usual. Wow.
So the full link of this investigation will be in the description. Check it out if you're interested. I think that everyone should. I am going to go deeper into it. I'm going to contact my local officials. I want to know what the fuck is happening with the guns in my area. And I hope that everybody in Philly, I know there's a lot of Philly listeners, please make some noise about this because this was a really explosive report. I had some stuff to talk about. I'll just skim over it. Eric Adams says some dumb shit. Again,
what's new? What's new, girl? What's
I'm
new?
just skimming over this. He said, when it comes to the migrants, he said, how do we have a large body of people that are in our city and country that are excellent swimmers, and at the same time, we need lifeguards? So that was very tone deaf on his end. What he's trying to say
but also we ain't got no pools in New York anyway. What are you talking about?
He's saying that he has a lifeguard shortage. He's saying that migrants are excellent fucking swimmers, which is wildly problematic. And, what he's really getting at is the fact that migrants aren't legally allowed to work. And so then the taxpayers have to pay for migrants. But
what's crazy? And this is bad timing. Well, bitch, this shit be sounding like a movie, like it's a script. Like
It's
these
not-
niggas be saying this shit, and it's like, how this we're like,
No,
this
it's a
is reality.
simulation. You said it before. It's not real. None of this is real.
It can't be real. He said the migrants know how to swim. What is going on?
He said that out loud at a press conference.
Oh no, the same way old girl said kids in the Bronx don't know what a computer is.
Talked about that with Dustin.
Bro,
they don't know the word. They don't know the word.
Know the word computer.
Not even don't know what it is. They don't know the word.
Bro, I can't. We can't make this up.
No, you can't.
This is Tyler Perry's writing. Like, what is going on?
Oh my God, not Tyler Perry's writing. There will be two presidential what is it? Debates.
Yep, one
Trump
is in Atlanta.
has agreed.
They warning everybody about the traffic now.
Yeah, it's going to be a mess. One is in June, one is in September. That's Biden's best shot. If he fumbles that, then I think that's it for him. Texas Governor Abbott has pardoned this motherfucker has pardoned Daniel Perry, who was arrested for shooting and killing a Black Lives Matter protester. He's pardoned him. Look that story up if you're more interested in that. He killed him.
I also want to add the person who was gunned down in Florida in his home due to his home being the wrong door.
Oh God, yes.
If you have not looked that up, the family is seeking justice currently, and I keep up with Florida news. I sent it to my mom, and it's so unfortunate. They were doing a raid. It was supposed to be on the 4th floor. They went into the 3rd floor. He answered with a gun and was killed. So I do one moment, because I sent it to my mom. I do want you to look and hashtag his name, and please give him justice. One moment, because hearing what's really happening is unfortunate. Hold on, I sent the link to my mama, and I was like, Mom, this shit is crazy. What's happening? Not my mom sending me. By the way, if you're traveling to Turks and Caicos, apparently they're asking for the release of Americans. My mom thought I was supposed to go to Turks. So she sent me that. But one moment, let me tell you guys. Damn, we are going to add it in the description of this episode, because I be talking to my mama and she got hella tea in these in this thread. Can you look it up, please?
I am.
He was a Navy vet. Florida.
The Black Airman. Roger Forston.
There we go.
Fortson, excuse me.
There we go. Please look up that story. It was one of those where he was in his home. And so, Antoinette, I know you be texting me, telling me to be careful. And when I continuously read things like this, I think my response to you on one of the things you sent me, I was like, girl, you drive. You wake up every morning. It's a blessing that we here. I can't spend my life thinking of every risk of everything I put in my body and everything I do that could be harmful. I just have to kind of enjoy this life. And and when I see that someone could wake up and answer their door and be gunned down, it makes me feel like, how much of my life do I really have control over? And things like continuously seeing things like that is where that's my, okay, I just want to live the best life I can while I'm here.
I think we all do. There's good news as well. I need to do a better job of announcing the good news. I really do.
There I got dick, y'all. People. Good news. Good news, baby. We having fun. Okay, go ahead and share the good news. I don't know.
This isn't good news. Pop culture, Diddy.
Oh, wait. Is that where we're going after that?
Yeah.
We're going. Wait. You said we were about to go to good news, and now we have to talk about Diddy?
No, I said I need to find good news. Not that I had any. Good news is that I am alive. This microphone is on. I'm joined by you. You're good. You know, we're doing the best we can. I think the good news in this Diddy. So for those of you who don't know, which I'd be shocked if you didn't,
update them.
Yeah, video footage has been released, obtained by CNN, of Diddy, violently attacking Cassie in a hotel kind of hallway corridor by an elevator. He throws her to the floor. He stomps on her multiple times.
It's awful.
He throws a vase at her. It's horrible. And she remains calm. She's just laid down.
It's not that she remains calm. It's
no,
that,
even afterwards when she's on the phone.
Well, no, it's that she can't get away. I would love to evergreen this portion if you don't mind.
Well, real fast, let me just say this.
Yes.
The only good thing about this is that it's terrible for her because she has to relive it.
Yes.
I think the good thing about this is he doesn't get to continue with his sociopathic, psychotic, narcissistic posts. You cannot hide anymore behind the guise of love. You cannot, hopefully somebody takes those kids away from him. He has Kim's kids.
Mm-hmm.
If he did this in public, he did not imagine what he was doing in the room. She said the report is that she left the room because she had a black eye from him punching her.
Yep.
So then he comes out only in a robe to beat her like this, and without any fear of cameras, without anything. It's imagine what he was doing to her. Imagine.
Well, it came out, and I don't know if it's sourced, but Perez Hilton said that Diddy did pay the hotel $50,000 so that this footage would be destroyed or erased. So to me, there's many points of this, and I mean, it's now the conversations in the group chats. It's the conversations amongst so many people, and I mean, victims, survivors of domestic abuse alike.
Oh, sorry. Trigger warning.
Trigger warning.
Sorry.
For sure.
I'm sorry. I need to do better at that. Go ahead.
And also the enablers. I think it's interesting because so many people within the industry, friends, co-workers, label mates, whatever, had seen this action taking place for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a few layers to this. And if you listen to me on my podcast, it's not that I make everything about me, but I always want to bring narrative to why I question and perceive things the way that I do. And one of the main things since this video has been released that I see in question, also since Cassie's over 50-page description of abuse that she endured over the 11 years of their relationship, is the question of Young Miami. Whether she is an enabler, whether she is also a victim who is currently being silenced, or whether she's someone who's just as responsible for knowing of being with a person like this. And this is the conversation I want to have, because where I'm sure so many podcasts are going to call him out of the monster ways that he is, what I want to do, and it's not to victim shame at all. However, it's to question how we as women accept and date our partners. And I want to lean into that as to saying, if as a woman, you know that the person you are dating is a liar or a cheater or an abuser or a deadbeat baby daddy, why as women do we move into these relationships immediately assuming we won't have that same treatment or experience, or that we will get a different version of this person without seeing who they've shown themselves to be? And I say this because, and clearly, y'all know, I'm evergreening on horrible and I'm not a weekly pod anymore. But the woman who came to me woman to woman, briefly after ending my relationship with the person I was with for 3 years, recently reached out to me in wanting to, quote unquote, expose my ex online, because she felt as though she wanted the next person to know how awful he was. And in reaching out to me, she asked in my help to expose this person because he's a quote unquote civilian, in the words of my army brother and sister. That's what they call people that are not celebrities or of military. We're civilians. And it frustrated me because we spent an hour and a half on the phone going over all the lies, the betrayal, the cheating, the abuse emotionally, not physically, but the emotional abuse of the relationship that I had with him. And she chose to stay with him 8 months after I left. And she came to me, and that was my response. I said, I told you exactly who he was. You had it. We spoke about my experience, your experience. Much was the same. And I said, you chose to stay because you thought you would have a different outcome. You thought you would get a different person. You thought you could change him. I think we saw that very much so in Summer Walker with London on the Track. She went back and forth with the baby mothers, thinking she would get a different baby father. I have friends who did not believe the physical abuse of the women prior, only to endure that same pain. And so to me, where I don't want to question whatever Carisha is experiencing right now, or maybe what Cassie knew of Kim Porter's treatment, but it's the fact that as women, we have proof oftentimes of the men and their behaviors, and we still choose to forgive or almost say, oh, but what did the woman do? I think as women that happens. And so in seeing the response to all of this, it's really interesting to me. If we know that men are not holding their male friends, their fathers, their brothers, their cousins accountable for cheating or the abuse at the hands of women, at what point do women believe other women? And I think that I hate that we have to see physical abuse on camera to believe people. It reminds me of Ray Rice. It reminds me of what we saw. Sweetie and Quavo was swept under the goddamn rug. I hate that now. And I think it stems from what we're seeing with the abuse of police and Black people, that we have to see what happens, and we're dissecting these videos. It's unfortunate that for women, in order to believe them, we also have to have video evidence of it. But I just want for any woman dating to question what insight they have of even the partners they're pursuing. That's my takeaway and what I'm reading. And yeah,
I think they're two. So thank you for that. I think though that there are two different conversations. I think there's a lot of conversations you're having.
There's a lot of conversations. Yes.
I think there is a conversation to be had about taking heed to the signs or to the advice given, right? So
yep.
Because I was writing stuff down.
Oh, I saw you taking notes.
I think it's a very separate conversation from what we saw today with Diddy, because that can easily be misconstrued as victim blaming, right? And you mentioned it, and I know that's not what you're trying to do, but framing it in that way, I think will make it hard for people to digest.
I led with that, and this is where, of course, I am working on being very clear with my words and intention. My conversation is a bit of the enabling, especially with the fact that so many people also want to bring into question who was around. We saw that same line of questioning around R. Kelly.
I know.
Harvey Weinstein.
Let me just say, but that's not on the victim, right? So
never.
Enabling. Yes. So now we have enabling, right?
Yes.
Enabling is a thing. We have taking heed to the signs in dating a partner, which is a very different conversation.
Agreed.
And we also have the collective community being desensitized to this, to abuse, not believing victims, right? And needing video evidence.
It's a lot.
That's
a lot. 5 things. That's 5 points right there.
It's a ton of things. Taking heed is a whole other conversation when it comes to, when it comes to, let me finish my thoughts. When it comes to dating and thinking, oh, I can change this person, or I'm somehow different. You don't always believe what you hear, especially when you're getting a different kind of treatment in the beginning from someone.
Agreed.
And a lot of these people who are master manipulators,
Yep.
who are narcissists, who are abusers, are very skilled at wearing their mask at first.
They are.
And so I still hesitate to question someone as to the why. It's like, well, there was a reason. Especially, and I know you're not talking about Cassie specifically, or even a young Miami, Carisha.
No.
There's if we are talking about someone with his kind of fame, his kind of influence, his kind of power, there's a whole other allure there, which also feeds into capitalism, where if it's like, if that's your fucking way out, or if you've never seen anything like that lifestyle, that is so fucking enticing. And because it's attached to survival, it's attached to something else. And then they're wearing this mask where they might seem like your knight in shining armor, and they're actually your nightmare. Yep. Right. And so it takes this footage came out, and Cassie, I believe, stayed with him for 2 years after this. In no way am I blaming her. There are so many people who stay with their abusers. I mean, and it doesn't have to be.
Wait. Can we be clear about also the video? She was clearly trying to leave.
She's trying to get away from him.
She's trying to get away from him, and he dragged her back. And so
she
what
stated
I also
she wouldn't be able. She couldn't, because the whole network was holding her hostage to this life.
And I know of women who have been in places where, when they tried to leave, every ounce of them was stricken and stripped from them, from clothes to access to be able to get out. So to me, it's definitely no victim blaming, but for the people who often see these stories and are like, well, why didn't she just leave? I think that I'm way more empathetic to that, because it's coming out of a relationship of someone that I went back to 13 times. Mm-hmm. Embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing.
There was emotional abuse there, but
emotional abuse is abuse, Mandii.
Is abuse. No, I'm very clear with that. And that's one that we're not taught. But I do think that seeing physically this woman trying to get away and being dragged and kicked to where she couldn't leave, I think this is a clear representation for all the people that question why someone just doesn't leave, as to why they don't.
Yeah.
It's not as easy. It's easier said than done.
I think the whole video aspect is a good point. Why would we need video proof? I specifically believed it. I know people who were like, allegedly, I don't know, like, this all feels very convenient. Okay.
I mean, and if I recall my statement, and I want to be sure I clear any statement I had up, she did get a settlement.
Mm-hmm.
She did release this testimony weeks before the statute of limitations ended for this in the state of New York.
Mm-hmm.
However, to me, knowing that she's moved on, knowing that she is now in a place where she clearly feels loved and safe. Alex Fine has posted that any man who puts their hands on a woman is not a man at all. I think that she's found sovereignty in this new relationship, so much so that I think her story, she feels vindicated in the way that I do, on opening up my life and my struggles and the bad decisions I make and the choices that I've done as a way to help others. And so I can't recall my exact sentiment when this came out. I absolutely believed her. I may have also thought perhaps this is a way to get money. Seeing this video, I wish she drained his accounts dry.
So let me ask you then, why did you need to see? Because here's the thing. When someone, real fast, okay. I have a question for you.
Wait, ask the question, because I know that.
I am.
Yep, ask it.
So Roger Fortson, who was killed by the police, most likely his family will sue and get a settlement. We don't judge them for that.
Yes.
We say rightfully so. Why is it different
yes and no.
for What do you mean? Is it really yes and no?
Yes,
Because we're
yes,
asking for justice.
and so here's the thing.
But let me finish because I didn't
And
finish my
this is
question. Let me
this.
finish my question. I
Yep.
didn't finish it.
I-
Why is
please-
it different for
please.
Cassie, who is looking for the same type of justice? We only question it, and this isn't my idea or argument. Olay posed this argument on higher learning. We only question civil cases, civil lawsuits, when it is a lawsuit based in sexual assault or some sort of abuse between man and woman in a relationship. Why is that?
What is okay? If
I
that
got
is
hit
your
by
question,
a bus and I sue them, I
if-
should get the
if-
money, right?
if that is your question,
Mhm.
and you already know me as a Potter, I don't speak for everyone.
I'm asking you.
So I have questioned that in all senses.
Okay.
To me, if you lose a family member, I don't think there's any money that makes up for that. If you have to serve a wrongful jail time, I said this, I think, even about the Central Park 5. The money that they got, that does not at all make up for the years they lost. And so to me, I'm
no,
one
but do
that
you question? I'm not saying that. Do you question them for wanting the money or suing for the money?
So to me, I don't mind making someone else's life hell. If you go low, I take it to hell. To me, though, when it's years later, I do question, and maybe again, so maybe you want to bring a financial debilitation to someone's life, or you just want to bring this drama. To me, having been sexually assaulted, having been wronged by friends, family, business partners, there's sometimes an amount of money that doesn't make sense. So knowing the amount of years, having for her to relive this video on a public scale of public opinion, I'm telling you now, I don't see the amount of money that makes sense.
She didn't release this.
Right. No, I get that. So knowing that her testimony, the video evidence being there, if we talk about, do you mind if I bring up recently the case of the killer? Okay, sorry, just because she's right here, I want to be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently had a conversation. It is 7 years later. 7 years later, my friend's ex-boyfriend was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
They just went and got the killer of the victim. He got jail time. I don't think they didn't get any money, but we literally sat on the call and was like, they have to relive this 7 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Cassie is reliving this. This video was from 2016. She's reliving this 8 years later. To me, when we talk about money, and that may be looking good because now you could take a trip, buy a bag, pay off some debt. I don't understand. And I've always said this. If you are the victim of a crime, I don't see how money makes up for that. It doesn't. And so that's always been my question. To take something from
So what else should
criminal,
she do?
That's the thing. We can say therapy. We can say, to me, the only justification to me of this, and having, again, been a victim of sexual assault, is knowing that this won't happen to anyone else. And so to me, the jail time, and we see that doesn't, for men with money, doesn't really suit well. I have in these conversations over the past few years with BLM, with the Me Too movement, with everything, question justice. And I think that's
so you're
kind of
not
what you just did.
questioning Cassidy.
No,
You're questioning
no,
what
Cassie.
Cassie.
Cassie, not Cassie.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're
No.
questioning what justice is.
I'm questioning justice because when we talk about what people get from these payouts, even we can go all the way down to divorce and alimony. We can go down to bad partnerships. We see Pharrell, and them are going at it over NERD and their things. There's so many ways. What does justice look like? What does it come down to? Something making you feel better, especially after being violated. That's where, to me, I want to rescind. Is that the word? I want to take away if I questioned her doing this for money, but seeing that video is like, what makes up for that? Is it, and that's to me where it's at. Because like I said, even if you bring up forts in Florida, it doesn't matter what payout they get. It's not going to make up the money.
No.
The Kenneka Jenkins, the lady that was found in the freezer, her family just received justice. And if I got that name wrong, please correct me. I don't want to get it wrong. But the lady that was found after a party in the freezer of a hotel, her family just got $1 million and change. And even me, I'm just like, I'm disgusted that her family has to receive that for the loss of life.
I hear you.
I don't know.
I hear you. I think it's deeply personal for everyone.
It is. Yeah.
I don't know that I think that's.
Can I ask you what justice looks like for you as someone who's very, like, you've had similar traumatic experiences within your lifetime? I would love to know, with these conversations and you being an advocate on a political scale and a human scale, what does justice look like for you?
I have no idea because I'm not in that situation. If I am Cassie with a Diddy, who I have no idea what I've done behind the scenes to help him. I know that he's made tons of money based off of my silence, based off of my suffering. I don't know what I would do. Okay. I would most likely, I don't know. I can't answer that. But what I do know is I know that when I don't find it to make it justifiable in the name of justice, like that term to me is a problem, but it's definitely some sort of punishment and repercussion for the action. Is that at the very least, me and my kids and my family are not going to have to want for anything. And I understand that.
You saying even just the kid aspect, I want to make point too, that so many people are either disgusted or questioning how he behaved in this manner, having daughters.
Oh, that has nothing to do with it. They compartmentalize that.
And I just wanted to bring that because I see that as like, but he has daughters and Cassie was someone's daughter. I don't know where this narrative has come from, but people questioning the ability of a man to do a heinous act because of either having daughters, or I want to bring it back a few years back to Shannon Sharpe, the question of sexual assault when a man is attractive, good looking, or powerful. You guys can look into Shannon Sharpe and why he is still currently behind bars.
Shannon Sharpe is not behind bars.
Not Shannon Sharpe, Darren Sharpe. Okay. Sharper, sorry. Darren Sharper. Sorry.
Okay.
Darren Sharper, who used to be with Gabrielle Union, which, by the way, if y'all read her book, love it. Hate that he was the only relationship left out of it. But if you look up Darren Sharper, there was a lot of questioning to why he behaved in the sexual assaults that he did, because he was so lovely looking, because he was so attractive, because he was so powerful, rich. I think that that's what we're seeing with this too. It's the questioning of, well, he has daughters. Well, he's rich. Why does we have to do it? And unfortunately, I don't want to dig into it, but it's why I'm hoping, because I'm not involved, have no likes, have no bias, but that line that Drake said in that goddamn record was the worst. And this is why. Why would you say I'm too popular to be?
But Mandii, this is what a larger conversation is about when it comes to this stuff. Is that you get to a certain status, you have certain access, and you feel untouchable.
Untouchable.
And I think that, again,
what you think?
I think he needs a lot of help. I think he needs a lot of help.
Antoinette turning into Mama Antoinette.
No, I think he needs so much help. I cannot imagine how deeply disturbed he is for that rebrand. To imagine being Cassie and watching him call himself Love.
Love.
Imagine watching him move in the way that he moves. Imagine being her and seeing him post things like "the truth will set you free," or "time will tell the truth," using a
imagine him being
pastor's voice.
Imagine him being honored for a Lifetime Achievement Award and saying your name
and thanking you.
Thanking you.
And it's a threat. That is a threat. Keep your mouth shut. So I just think he's deeply disturbed. I think they need to reopen that file on Kim Porter, rest her soul. I think they need to get her kids away from him. I think they need to protect his boys, Quincy, the little twin looking one.
Christian made a whole diss record saying we own the house next door.
I understand, but that's showing that he's deeply unwell as well, because he came up in this stuff. He has the same God-like complex that his daddy has, and that can only result in destruction and his own demise. So I pray for all of them. I hope that the people who were complicit in this have a hard look at themselves in the mirror and also seek help, because there's no way this goes on for this many years and nobody knows. Not when you're that big.
They know.
What do you want to do? I could play something from the Kansas City Chiefs guy, which is wild, or we could talk about the WNBA Skims campaign.
You know what? Let's keep this woman led. You could talk about the Chiefs with somebody else. Okay. But let's do the WNBA Skims campaign. Okay. Because I dug deep.
All right.
And I would like to talk about this.
All right. Lastly, I would be remiss if I didn't say everybody should look up Academics' lawsuit too, because they can go ahead and get him on out of here too. I'm not going to talk about it too much.
We don't want to talk about Academics?
No, because it's all in the same fucking vein, and I don't want to have this whole episode be that.
Okay, let's not do. You're right. Let's not do a full triggering ass episode. Okay.
WNBA. So Skims. Yes. WNBA and Skims campaign. They receive backlash. They receive a lot of backlash based off of this new WNBA campaign featuring, I don't know all these girls' names.
Skylar Diggins,
Candace Parker. I know Kelsey.
Candace Parker just retired.
Yeah.
Just announced her retirement.
I don't know these other sisters. Cameron.
Yeah, the white girls I do not know. Damn, I ain't gonna hold you. By the way, and here I go producing. Maybe this could be a Patreon take, but I need you to get into this Tay Diggs monkey conversation.
Girl.
At least if it ain't with me, it wasn't with Fran, you got to do it with somebody else. Even if it's late, I want to hear your thoughts.
Maybe.
So I'm not gonna lie. In terms of, and let me pull up this picture, because
for those of you that don't know, they're all in high heels and wearing bras and panties. They're lotioned up. They look fabulous. They're very fit. They're very toned, tall gazelles, wearing their Skims, sporting their basketball, being women.
So I have a problem already with how you describe this.
Okay.
Because they are WNBA stars.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to be athletic. They are going to be slim. They are going
Not all
to be...
WNBA stars are slim. Be real clear.
I would love for you to name me.
I don't know their names.
My point. But I've been watching the games, especially with college. Shout out to March Madness and the WNBA finals. I would love to know who would be considered curvy or plus size in the WNBA.
Okay, continue.
I also have an issue where they are bringing up the colors of these women. Skims showcases a wide variety of, and this is not me being, although baby, their stuff is good. I'm not a Kim Kardashian advocate. However, I do like their products. My problem is this brings back the conversation that you and I are not privy to have because we are light-skinned. We are also biracial. But it bothers me that they want to talk about the skin tones represented when you literally are seeing 4 brown women. You have one that does look Latina. Skylar Diggins may be biracial. The other 2 are black women. I have an issue that No, Skylar Dim is maybe biracial. I think so, but the other woman is Latina. The first one. And maybe we can post this on your social media.
Go ahead.
But of this picture, I'm so excited to see 4 brown represented women. Especially when the conversation right now, actually around the WNBA, is that Caitlin Clark is getting this money that Aja Wilson is not. And so we're already having the conversation between black and white in terms of the WNBA, the disparities of pay, the opportunities that they're given. Skims is paying them to portray themselves in this campaign. We're able to be showcasing WNBA players in a light that the masses don't see them as feminine or as women. And I love that it shows they're sexy because they are women. They don't just dribble a ball and wear sneakers. These women, a lot of times that you see them on the red carpet or the Met Gala like we just saw, wear heels. What is the problem with seeing these women in heels and looking sexy and being feminine in an era where we're questioning the modern day woman and their masculinity? The femininity of WNBA players is so often taken away from them. This is an empowering ad to me. And it showcases 4 brown women to 1 white woman. I'm here for it. This isn't just a 1 black woman, the token being thrown into an ad. It's showcasing all of these beautiful hair textures, women of color. All of them are different colors. Why are we making this such a bad thing? Can no one ever be pleased in any representation that we're getting?
Okay, let me respond to some of this.
Please.
All right. And I don't have a monkey in this race. I am going to a
Not
horse
just
in
saying
this
monkey.
race because you
Thank
said
you.
that.
Not
I
just
read the
saying
Tay Diggs
monkey.
thing. Sorry, because I have the Tay Diggs thing right under this. And for those of you that don't know, Tay Diggs has recently likened himself to a monkey and sang a monkey
crazy.
song on
It's crazy.
on Instagram and even put a monkey in his caption. I the self-hate. All right. Listen, the thing that people are saying, some people are saying exactly what you're saying. Some people are saying, listen, there's a lack of dark-skinned women. They're like, listen, none of these girls on here they all passed the brown paper bag test is what I've heard and read some women say. None of them are dark-skinned women. None of these women are masculine presenting players that you absolutely have in the WNBA. So there's a lack of representation there. There's a lack of full-bodied curvy women. I do not know the WNBA players by name right now. I have seen some that aren't as slim as these ladies. Fine.
Okay.
Whatever. Some people are complaining about the heels. Now, other people's are saying exactly what you're saying. Listen, we love to see the duality. These women can go out. They can go kick ass on the court. They also can look like this and be sexy and fine as hell. Cool. Some people are like, well, great, they could have been sexy, but why do we have to sexualize them in all of the ads? Why couldn't they have there's another approach to this. There's another execution. I didn't know how to feel about it. When I first saw it, I actually sent it to Crystal and was like, what are your thoughts? Because
What'd she say?
She said, Crystal, she's like, girl, I'm not surprised, especially when I heard about the partnership. And I was like, I said to her, I said, I'm trying to figure out if I'm overthinking this or something about this feels off. And I don't know
Can I ask you?
Well, let me finish.
The bra and panties?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Something about this feels off. I don't know if it's because I've never seen, or not never, because I've seen Skylar. Skylar she had her reign, but I've seen
love her.
It's not often that we see WNBA players depicted like this. Is it the Kim Kardashian link that is sexualizing it for me? What is it? Because these women can't play basketball in these heels. Was there a different way to do it? Could they have been in the locker room taking off their jerseys? The skims are exposed. I also don't think any of these women are playing in these skims. None of them appear to be very supportive. It just feels like, well, you've got a tube top
Oh, these
bra,
definitely are supportive.
and you're
It's
bouncing
lightweight.
around playing basketball.
It's lightweight and natural.
Yeah,
yes.
it feels unrealistic. Had Skims done some sort of supportive sports bra that actually looked like it belonged, like that it was actually helpful for the game, maybe it would feel better. What is the statement that you're making here? Because there is no caption. It's just, how is this for Skims starting lineup? Everybody get comfortable, fits everybody. Great, it fits everybody, but I don't know.
There's only one body depicted there.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know that as somebody who works in advertising, I don't know if executionally this was
Hall of Fame.
Shut up. I hate you. I forgot you came with me to that. Yes. I don't know if executionally this was done in a way where all the I's were dotted and all the T's were crossed. I don't think that it's this horrible thing and the downfall of the WNBA. I just feel like, yeah, and people were saying we don't see the men doing this, but I push back. The men's absolutely had a Skims.
There's a Skims campaign for the men,
where they are in their underwear and they're shirtless and
I loved it. That's why I'm like, motherfuckers just be talking under these comments, talking about why the men ain't doing it. Like, I think that's the thing. I'll be honest with you, and this is what I realized. With what I've been going through in the last couple months, so many people don't care about the truth. They don't care about the reality. They come in, whether they don't like Kim Kardashian, whether they don't like the representation of skin colors here, whether they come in with an agenda of their own. There's so many people that come into so many things with their bias. And because we have the amendment that allows us to have freedom of speech, everyone entitled, whether they're behind a Finsta page or not, to an opinion. And you're not going to win everyone. So to me, a part of what we've also seen with marketing is outrage. And so it wouldn't surprise me if, knowing outrage marketing is a thing right now, they specifically did this just so that we would be on a podcast talking about it. Outrage marketing is the girl right now. Let's get everyone so upset that now they're talking about it and it's bringing awareness. And I think that that's what we've seen over the last 2-3 years with so many brands. Outrage marketing is marketing, and it saves us so much money, because all we need is for podcasters and for conservatives to be so upset that now they're talking about it on their Twitter, their Instagrams, and they're upset. And they're reposting it like, oh my God, look at this. It saves money. And let's be very clear, in a place where jobs are being cut, it's DEI and marketing, baby. Those are the first budgets cut. So they are doing everything they need to remove diversity and inclusion and lower their marketing budgets with still wanting to get brand awareness out there. And that would not be a surprise if that's where they went in on this one.
Interesting.
Outrage marketing, baby. Politics over humanity. That's the word we're in.
You keep
Sims
saying
game.
politics, but you won't say capitalism. It's funny.
Because baby, I want to be rich.
Someone wrote, I'm done centering whiteness and the male gaze, objectifying systems and marketing, constantly ignoring all body types. Women are more complex, dynamic, and beautiful than this.
The only thing I have to say to that is, if you don't like the marketing for this Skims campaign, bitch, buy Fenty. You literally have you have a woman of color who literally promotes all body types in her fashion shows, her music videos, and her fucking fashion, and her skincare. So if you want to be so upset that Kim is leaning in this direction for her marketing, buy Fenty.
Yeah, I don't think that it helps that it's Kim. I really don't.
Yeah,
I don't think that it helps that it's attached to the Kardashian family, what they stand for.
Agreed. I agree.
But here we are. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know if I feel unsettled. I feel unclear about how I feel, if I'm being completely honest.
Can I ask you, do you buy Skims?
No, I do have some Skims.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily. I have been given Skims.
Okay.
The every fits everybody is very comfortable, I will say, sure.
It is.
But
I like it.
with this, I feel like I'm going to do an audit on if I'm satisfiable. What do I expect from this woman, and whatever it is that I expect, is it because I'm leaning on to stereotypes about what a woman in the WNBA should and shouldn't be? And if that's the case, then I need to sit with myself a little bit more. But I do wish that there was a different representation. All of these women are femme. I really do think they missed out on a great opportunity there, especially since, from my understanding, Skims gives a lot of gender neutral options. But
I ain't gonna hold
here
you.
we are.
And it's gonna be me with my bisexual ass. I would have loved to see Brittany Griner right up in the middle with her. Listen,
You'd have to fight
she ain't got-
Crystal for it.
She ain't got her dreads no more. But I would have loved to see Brittany Griner up
Brittany Sykes,
on his.
Kirsten Bell. Have you looked any
No, I'm telling you who I like.
Oh, you like it? Okay, say less.
I love me some Brittany Griner, and hold on, she not a player, but she a coach, and I love her. Her name is Sydney. Hold on, Sydney Carter. She is the coach for Texas women's basketball. And so if we want to do a campaign with coaches, y'all need to get Sydney Carter up in some Skims.
Say
That's
less.
all.
Well, that's it, y'all. Mandii has to go. She has to go to dinner. Thank you so much for joining me, Amanda.
I do, and I love you. And we're gonna go and get dinner, and you can cry on my shoulder, and we can eat
I don't feel like
all
crying.
the bullshit you want. We're gonna go to the restaurant that now I cannot say publicly
No, you
because
can't.
I have been like punished for doing so. I want to thank you for having me on, and thank you for being honest that you could care less about my hip hop takes. And I'm glad that we were able to have this conversation here. And I love you dearly. And I love Around the Way Curls. So, by the way, any other guests coming on, I need y'all to have a mic because I listen and I need y'all to
Stop
sound
it.
good.
Everybody
Okay, my
has
bad.
had a mic.
Not the Yetis.
One person's mic wasn't working right. We know.
Oh, okay. Okay, but I ain't shit.
She
But
said not
I
the
love Around the
Yetis.
Way Curls.
Oh my God.
I love Around the Way Curls. And I love that you guys are supporting my girl in all her ways. And I love you. And season 3 Can't Afford Therapy coming back.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We recorded the first 2 episodes. I don't know if we announced that officially, but now here it is.
I don't know. Y'all gonna get it probably it'll take a couple months because I know the rollout of this. We're gonna record the season first, but just know that each and every one person is dealing with life. And where I hate the bitch Grace, I hate her. I don't be wanting to give grace to nobody. What I will say is that in terms of your patience and your awareness of what everyone else is going on in life and what you're going on in life, know that a lot of niggas got it worse than you. That's what I say. A lot of niggas got it worse than you. And so please, just be aware of that. You're not the only one going through some shit. And even when people show up with smiles and a clear fucking skin face like Antoinette, my God,
makeup.
Shit is going on. No, it's not just makeup. The skincare routine, bitch, I've been seeing. It's great. I just want y'all to know that everybody's going through something. And Antoinette, I love you.
I love you too.
And I'll see you next week because, bitch, I'm in town for about 5 days.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
By the way, y'all can listen to me. Period, sis. Horrible
I know,
Decisions.
you didn't plug you. Like, what the fuck?
Because I ain't shit. But Period, sis, every Wednesday. Horrible Decisions every Monday. And Can't Afford Therapy coming. If you guys haven't, check out season 1 and 2. Now Webby award-winning podcast. And if you also haven't yet, Across Generations. A conversation between Black women across generations. So check out all of those pods. And I want to thank you for having me. And this was fun. I think I didn't sound as toxic as I normally do. So this was great.
No, you didn't. I love you. Goodbye.
Bye.